I should put a few holes in.
Well, this side over here is not bad, but on the other areas,
Oh my,
like the Velcro tabs, when the wind beats
In progress.
Recording in progress.
Recording in progress. No, Larry.
Where's Larry?
Where's Larry? Larry. Let's see if I can get on this. It's not very clear. Oh, I know it. Duh. I'm so dumb. I got it aimed at the wrong direction. I got looking at the board back there, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, why is it white? Because I'm looking at the wrong area. Okay. So let's see if I can get all this in. Well, there we go. Maybe I have to move this back a little bit. Make this work. Okay, let's see if this will do a little better. Okay. Gonna bitch
This is gonna sound stupid, but is there a way to get rid of me so I see your screen bigger?
I think if you tap on me, it should. Oh, you mean you at the top? Let me see if I can do something to eliminate that. I don't know. That's a good question. Use the full screen, maybe. That get rid of it?
No, I still see both of us.
Okay, I think you can go up there, then maybe hit view, like at the top. If you go all the way to the top, I think you can hit on view full screen. I did that. I just thought it was going to do it for everybody, but it didn't.
That worked, thank you.
Je kan zien horen, Christian aan Gorgon Gishpen, Gishkitoyan, Bakan, Jipshuanan, non Gorgon, Winakshana. I didn't know that would work, but sometimes you try different things and sometimes they work. Hey, bonjour. Cho skis go kayaking, no glasses. Yeah. So they get non-Gorgon. It's hard sometimes. You're welcome to get as close as you'd like.
That's
You may-
okay. No, someone's bringing me food. That's why I was
Okay.
kind of thinking it was here, but it's not.
Yeah, they were meeting in there, so we got ran
Well,
out.
yeah, they're bringing me food. Sorry.
Yeah. We still in Giant. Gonna bet you go to Kanamage one Gishpinadoyan on it. We still in Jayak Wisniak. So maybe one of these days I'll bring some food and we can all eat. Minus those of you that are Tazon Cutco stuck on the computer. Nothing I can do there. I can't just send it to you. I can send it to you, but if it's coming by mail, it ain't gonna be good when it gets there. I got no special ice packaging and anything like that, so. Gom bagajin dotmas jitoyan ora kedwinin again. On it kedwinin win pen gedano nescha shkat kedwinin Google bamazajuk and a jitowat gago jinka danawa Woolaroo. It's a name. Nidinindum and nistitoyan majim duk gishpinwiye mizinaxadok gago. Woolaroo and wabda mina we the mom get there's nakazo anake is nakara in istana bagaji ginavit. It's pretty high tech stuff, so it might be hard to understand. This is technology stuff here. So today gom bagaji, what's that? A little bit. So today a little bit. Dotmas, anybody know what that is? Busy. A little bit busy. Jitoyan. What about this? What's that young? Me or I? Yeah. What about jiton? What is that verb? Doing. You're in the right kind of category, but maybe a little more specific. She said doing, making, or creating. Doing broad, so I don't want to just leave it doing, but yeah, you're in the right, you're in the right, you're in the right room. So jeton, or sometimes we'll say we jeton. So I'm a little bit busy today. I was creating Oda. This, yeah, that. Kedwinen Mazinigan. I think that might be.
Mazinigan is paper, book, or sheet.
It's very broad, yeah.
Right.
Mazinigan's like a broad word. So here we're using it for like a list.
Oh, okay, right. Okay.
Kedwinin, words.
Uh,
And kedwinin can also be phrases. Ked is the verb to speak. So kedwin is a phrase or a word. Kedwinin, words, phrase. So today I was a little bit busy. I was making this list of words. Anet kedwinin, winpen gedeno, neshja, shka, kedwinin. So anet.
So,
Hey, what's on? That's okay. I'm a patient. I'm fine with patience, and I'm also fine with quiet. Some people that like freaks them out, so I don't want y'all to get all freaked out if I give like a little period of silence. And like, oh my God, somebody say something. Ah! Kedwinin. So some words. Winpen no.
I've heard this so many times.
You've heard Winpen a bunch. Winpen or Winpesh, some variation of that. Sometimes when that is actually one, that is correct, but it also has another kind of meaning too. Easy. Easy or free. Yeah, free is right. You do hear it a lot when you talk about we call it like garage sale shop and stuff like that. So free or easy. In this sense, it's more easy. Known they are. So on it, kedwinin are easy. They're easy. Neshja. But shka kedwinin. Like is it on it? Shka kedwinin. What's shka?
New.
Words. Yeah, but some are new words. So some of them are easy, some are new. Google Bamadjuk, Ene Jitowat Gago, Jinka Danawa, Woolaroo. So Google is obviously not a popular word. This is Google. So the Google people at Google people. So Google people. Ene Jitowat, they are starting to, or they're beginning to. Jito, what's that Jito again? Guess I never put it up there. My bad. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate because I pointed at it. I looked up and there's nothing there. They begin making or creating, making, and who's and what is who? They. Now, the $24 million question. What is Gago right here? Gago could be like in different situations, different things. You can say like Gago says Kagani, don't do that. Well, it's not that. You can say Cho Gago, nothing, Jock Gago, everything. What is Gago by itself?
Something.
Something. There it is, something, just something. So these Google people, they begin creating something, Jinka Danawa. Now this is an interesting ending. We've had some stuff like this. This is a VTI verb. And if you do happen to remember what those VTI verbs, what I say about them is they're very similar to the normal pattern, the nemaji, gimaji, but the one pattern is a little different. And that's what this one's in. The one's a little different. So this right here, what is that going on? That's a good guess. That's a good thought. Okay, I'm gonna help you out a little bit here. So what is Jinkazo? What is Jinkazo like? Nija Ejnakazo.
Name.
Name, or literally what he or she is called. So Jinkadan, it is called or it is named.
So something that is.
Called, it's named, and this is they.
Hmm.
So they called it or they named it. Woolaroo. Woolaroo. I like that, man. It's kind of goofy. Woolaroo. I don't know. They told me about this thing. So interesting enough, they contacted me, which is very bizarre, but hey, whatever. Me and like 4 other languages is all they're doing it with. It's kind of this experimental thing. And I'm like, sure, I'm all that experimental. Let's try it. Put me up to it. Will it work? You know, what do I do? Do I become a robot? Or you know, what is it going to do? I'm cool with it. But so they told me about this program called Woolaroo. Nidinindum enistitoyan majibduk gishpenwie mizenoxidot gago. Woolaroo e wabduk mina widmomget ejnakazo anake ejnakade. So nidinindum. What's nindum? Think. Yep. What's nidinindum? I. I think. Enistitoyan. I understand. Majibdek. This one you might not know. I'll tell you. But Majibdek means it works. So the way it works. Gishpen. Yep. We someone. Mizenoxidot. Now, you may have heard mizenox again, or you may have heard, but that's just mizenoxigay is the verb to do that, and then the don to do some to it. So if he or she takes a picture, what's gago?
Or something.
Something. Woolaroo. Ewabduk. Sees it. Mina. The ultimate lady. And Weedmom get. What's Weedmom? Tells it. Ejnakazo danake ejnakade. What he or she is called, or it's called. So the basic premise is you take a picture, it's like a tree, and it'll kick out the tuck. Now the kicker is you got to have enough of those words input. So they sent me this list of about 1,000, about 1,200 words, I think, that they said were the most Googled terms. Of course, leave it to Google, but here's the most Googleized terms or whatever. I'm like, okay. And they said to me, they said, hey, we understand if you may not have some of these words for like some of these breeds of dogs. Like you'd be amazed how many people are talking about just dog breeds, like Spaniards and this type of dog and that type of dog. And you're like Rottweilers. And you're like, okay, yeah. Apparently that is a very Googled term. And so they sent me this list, and that's what I've been kind of knocking away a little bit on today. I told them Gi we de moa gi bama juk gagash ebon jitoyan kedwin is, you know, it should be done creating this list soon. Because they said if I did it fast, if I did it quick enough, I could get out in the first rollout. And since this is experimental, the first rollout is the place to be because there may not be a second rollout. So I was like, sure, why not? And like I said, there's only, I think there's maybe Nyanan, Bakan, Jeshmoinen, 5 different languages they're doing it with. And I think there's a couple different indigenous languages, but some of them are not indigenous to the US, they're indigenous to islands or somewhere. Yeah. So I was like, cool. Oh, I'll save that for my next statement. I was gonna say something. Yeah, I might as well write it. I might waste my breath. I say it in this Chimokman Mowenish. Dang old English. I can always say it. No.
Put those strange translations on Facebook anymore.
That's right. We'll be like, there it is. No, they'll still be. There's still a need for that, Paul. No, there's definitely still.
I'm just saying, some of them are really bizarre.
But I think it's a kind of a neat little thing though that they're trying to do, and I'm like, that's cool. If you just like take your camera, and I'm not 100%. I don't completely understand it. I'm not sure if you have to actually take the picture, or once you have the app, you run it over the object, and it just kind of like, oh, that's a tree. bam, free.
We have apps like that
For plants.
for
Yes.
animals and
But apparently this is for like,
anything.
yeah, you name it, a car, man, Davion.
Cool.
Well, that's a wheel clone, that's a hat, so I'm like, okay. But yeah, you're right, the technology's kind of been there, and they've used it a lot with plants, like plant identifications
Birds.
and birds.
Oh, birds.
I've never seen the bird one, but that makes a lot of
They
sense.
do it with plants too, and there's also a lot of apps that let you take a picture of the plant and
Yeah.
tell you what kind it is and how to take care of it.
So, let's see here. Okay. Oh, sorry. Phew. Kedwinin Mazinigan, Nagibia Don Shoda, Nagin them on it, Nig Kedwinin, Memajuk, Bamajuk, Yo Wat Tazum Kakosa. Bamadzit, Neptum, Gi Suganona, Gakadot, just a nearly get Negadao. Robin Kimmerigi, Nebia get or the Mazinigan, Kardingen Wishkamishkos. Mina, and maybe get on it, on it kinomage when an eggy kinomage. So let me change colors here so I can differentiate between the two. I should have done it last time. I find the color, though it's not. Defunct. I haven't been in this room in a while, so Kedwinin, what's Kedwinin? Again, so words, list, paper, Nagibia don't. I did. Be a don't. come with the dough. You're in the right category. Come with it. So brought it. I did bring it. Sorry, I'm gonna put you on the, no, just kidding. I did bring it Shoda here. That's good. And that's one of just a few. That's good. That's okay. That's okay. Gi nindum. We had nindum before. I did something. One of y'all answered this last time, nindum. I did think on it. Some me Kevin. I know what Meeg is? Meeg's a good one. Strange. Good, look at you. It's a good one to remember because you can always be like Meeg Bamadzit, those strange people, or Meeg Zamget is strange. You know, Meeg, strange words. Mamajuk. I don't use this word very often, but I don't know what it is about this word. Whenever I think of this word, I think, man, I just want to use this word. It has a nice little mamajuk. Mamajuk. There's a nice little kind of flow to it. In particular, Bamadzjuk eyowat tazon kakosuk. So we know what Bamadzjuk is, right? People. Ayo what? Who's the what? They. What's the yo? There's another word you can use too, is objectone. Use objectone or yon. Use. So they use tazon kapko stuck. Computer on it. So just one computer, then on the computer. So on the computer. So the entire thing here would read, or this part would be, Kedwinin Mazinigan, Nigi Biadon Shoda, Nigi Nindum on it, Mig Kedwinin, Memajuk, Bamadzjuk, Yowat, Tazom Kakosuk. So I did bring the words list here. I did think some of the words were strange, in particular that people use on the computer. Because this is basically where this list came. I'm like, strange stuff going on out there in the world. I'm just like, I don't think I have concepts for some of this stuff. Some strange stuff. But it also, well, I'm going to keep with that thought. I'm not going to expand on that until I finish what I said. But Bamadzit netum nagi shugano nuk gakadot Justin Neely nikadat. So Bamadzit netum nagi shugano nuk. So it's Bamadzit. If Bamadzit or people, what's Bamadzit? Anybody online out there want to jump in?
Isn't that life or good health and life?
You're right. It is life. It's living. So it's a person.
A person. Okay. Oh, hey.
But that's the same word for life. I mean, the
Yeah.
mod, the one is like life. The note mods one, good life. The modze literally means, with the T means he or she is the one that's living, the one that's alive. But in general, we just use it for like a person. And then people, the mods. But technically, this could be all living things. Technically, you could be talking about like all of them, you know. But usually we're in reference to people and a person, the mods. Good. Netum. First. Nagi shugano nuk. Now this is a VTA verb, so this does not mean I did. This is the past tense, but this is she did it to me. She called me. I don't want to leave that out there too long. She called me. Called. Shugano na is the verb to call someone. So call on the phone. So she called me, Gakadot, and then she said, Justin Neely naked down? Are you Justin Neely? Yeah, are you Justin Neely? Robin Kimmer, Egi Nebiage, Oramazinnigan, Kadingen Wishkamishkos. Now, if I put this in English, it would have made this whole thing even easier for you guys. I was like, yeah, no reason to do that. I mean, why make it simpler? So Robin Kimmer, you guys may have heard of her. Egi Nebiege. She's one of our travel members that actually, so she did write Oda Mezinigan, this book, Kadingen Wishkapamishkos, braiding and sweetgrass. Kadingen is braiding, and then Wishkapamishko sweetgrass. Mina and Nebiaget, she wrote on it. What's on it? Some about Kinomage, when in classes, Egi Kinomage. Oops. Yan, that I taught. I said that you taught. I was like, really? That I taught. So that's how I wondered, because I wondered to myself, why did they reach out to me? I mean, did they just, how they, but apparently I'm braiding sweetgrass things. It's really bizarre. I've had people contact me from that book, just from like a little paragraph, I think that she mentioned. Yeah, but I appreciate her mentioning me, but yeah, just, I mean, it's probably, that's how you can tell the person read the book. And I'm like, good job, you read it thoroughly, because you got my name there. But yeah, just a little paragraph, a little blurb there that she mentions me, and which is fine. I mean, I appreciate the thoughts, but it's actually been really beneficial because that book's been a top 10 seller on like the whatever book list, the New York bestsellers, whatever. So it's been up there at least top 100, top 50. I don't know. So a lot of people have seen it. So because of that, I've had weird just people kind of reach out to me that probably wouldn't have reached out to me. It's like, oh, I read the book and I was thinking about, well, I could help some. Hey, I thought about you. Okay, cool. So that's the way things work sometimes in a Migzam get keep in a strange world. That's how things work. So. It's usually people only know me if they do language. Yeah, they do language in Oklahoma, indigenous language. They're like, oh yeah, I know. Because you've been doing it so long, you just run into them in places and stuff like that. Like I got a kind of funny story like that, but I might share that here in a second. Okay, we got it? Good. So let me share a few of these words with you that I thought were really kind of interesting. They were asking me, oh, how do you say that? And I was like, oh, okay, let me think about that for a minute. And I came up with some interesting ones for some of these. I was just like, that makes sense. But some of them I just never really thought about. And I'll be honest, it actually helped me add some stuff to our dictionary that you just don't really think's not there until you realize somebody's asking it. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's something you could say. Something that people might logically look for in a dictionary. See if we can figure out some of these here. Because if you can't figure them out, maybe I need to rethink it. It didn't work that well. So there was lots of these words that were really easy. It was like dog, cat, tree, hat, different body parts and whatnot. Lots of them were real simple. Scissors, tablecloth, table, tooth, real basic stuff. But occasionally you had some stuff like this, but you're like, huh. So the word that they were looking for on this one was Weensess, we'll go to this next one in a second. Weensess edgewab duck. Anybody know what weensess is?
Here,
Hair. Edgewab duck.
that shit is a locative.
Yeah. Don't get too focused on it. Though, right? Look at what is wob don, wob duck.
Obviously,
To see or what I was going here for was kind of like the way that it's seen, the way it looks. This is the word they're asking. Hairstyle. And I was like, okay, so the way that your hair looks, the way that it's seen. You know, edgewab duck. Ween says edgewab duck. This next one, Mizanoxage epso. This was a funny one that definitely deserved an entry in our dictionary. So we just had this Mizanoxage. Remember we're talking about Mizanoxage. So take a picture. What do you think this might be? You know what this epso is, and you'll know.
it's a picture. I'm gonna just.
This is take a jump. This is a leap one.
I was just gonna say it's a selfie. Maybe.
It is a selfie.
Uh-oh.
Look at you, it worked. It's a selfie. Etso means you're doing it to yourself. So you're taking a picture of yourself. A selfie. A selfie. I was like, okay, that deserves some dictionary entry, if you will. What about Buaka Biwakos? Or you could also say Buaka Biwakos. What's Biwakos? You've seen this word before. Kevin, you out there? What's Biwakos? Anybody? Phone. Oh, that would look familiar. Phone. Buaka or Buaka? Smartphone.
Waka is,
Smart or wise?
because isn't that one of the songs there's one?
Buaka one, yeah. But if you say Buakauze, he or she is smart. He or she, yeah. Smartphone. Buaka Biwakos. Whatever, smartphone. I was like, now this one was easy. I left these others two alone for a second. I'm gonna come back to them. Bawizzo Gabuddy. Bawizzo Gabuddy. And when I thought about this one, I thought, why have I not thought to make a word like this? Because this is a word that I use pretty regularly. You know, in English, I'm thinking, God, and in society, a lot of people use this object.
I don't know what the was is. What
What's Gabuddy?
a
Pants.
the was the under. No, because that was no. Oh, sweatpants.
Sweatpants. Bawizzo means here she sweats. Sweatpants.
Oh yeah, I knew I heard that one. You told me about that.
I thought, sweatpants, that's something that I should have created a word for a long time ago, sweatpants. Everybody's wearing sweatpants when they're not at work, they're relaxing, putting sweatpants on. This is like a American staple right here. Bawizzo Gabuddy, sweatpants. Okay. Leisure suit there. Maybe I should put that as an alternative definition here, leisure suit. So a'inge is a word for
Using your hands to speak.
signing.
Yeah, I teach the kids that, but
So this would be a sign, right? Not like a sign, but like a sign.
sign.
Or I also used it for, this is the word I really was trying to get for. Gesture.
Interesting, I like that.
That was like a gesture, you're like, forget about it. I mean, gestures are with your hands. I mean, they could be like the middle finger. That's the first one people think of, but there's like, but those are gestures, they're talking with you, you're using your hands. It's like sign language in a way, but it's not actually signing. I thought that works. A'ingen. Now this next one, this one was this is a little challenging for me because I thought about it and I thought, well, what exactly? There's a few of them in there I just couldn't do because I didn't know what they meant. Like in English, like there were some words I honestly didn't know what they meant in English because I didn't know what they were. I had to look them up. I'm like, my God, people are using this at this level and I don't even have any idea what this word is. But then there were some that were in English that were just too vague. Like you're just like, you're looking at it and you're like, yes, I know what that means, but is that this or this? Like, is it a do or is it an that? You know, I mean, because there's certain words in English we use that mean like, oh, I'm not, one was space. Well, do they mean like outer space? Like, or do they mean like a space, like an area? Do they mean like a, you know, it's just like, I don't know what the heck they're talking about.
That's a good thought.
Because I mean, what the hell, what are you gonna take a picture of? Are you taking a picture of like the sky up there, like there? Or are you taking a picture just like a random area and it's gonna say space? Like, so that one was like, over my head. There's a couple others like that that I was just like, man, I don't know what the heck they're talking about. So I'm just gonna skip by that for a minute.
Are you allowed to ask them questions?
I think I can ask them questions. So I've been putting them on a little list to the side. I'm gonna see if they can give me some, but I don't know that they know the answer. Do you know what I mean? I feel like this is just like a list in English of compiled words. And you're just like, in English, it means both. But the bad thing is you can't give them both. The other thing was like colors was kind of hard because they had certain colors that were common. So I had to make a choice. Animate and animate, because you can only give them one. Well, we have both. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give them the inanimate. Because that's what we do a lot of times in the daycare. A lot of times we'll give them the inanimate one, then we'll give them the animate one later. So I was like, oh, let's give them the inanimate one. Another place that I had to really think out was how to do body parts. Because in Potawatomi, everything's always possessed. And I really thought on this one hard because I thought to myself, man, you know, I could give them the my form, you know, like Najosh, Nadone, Nadamkin, you know, but everything's gonna be starting with N. But then when they're actually doing it, are they really doing themselves or are they looking at somebody else's? So I could give them the he or she one. And then I was like, scratching my head thinking, you know what? I'm gonna do it. This is a little irregular, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm just gonna take the personal pronoun off it. Though that would not normally happen in Potawatomi, it's too unknown who the heck they're talking about. His hose, their nose, our nose. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna give them the base form. So like Josh, Don, or whatever. Now some you have to choose. Harry, you're gonna have to choose like because it's inside the word. You can't give them incest. Incest doesn't mean anything. No, but it's like what? It's incest.
You
Okay.
might also try Googling it, because if you notice in Google searches, their results will be very one direction.
That's a thought. I could Google the word that they gave me and see what it comes up with. That's a solid. That is a good thought. But yeah, there were some wild ones in here that really stretched my mind, and there were some that were just normal kind of things. We find some others I think that were really kind of interesting. Oh, I never finished. Or yeah, I did. Oh, I haven't finished that one. Duh. So nebiage. Nebiage means to write. The verb to write. Yeah. This gade is attached a lot of times to a verb to mean like it is written. So this is like it is. Okay. Now, what is the goss?
I've only seen.
This
it on
is something you
Watermelon.
guys might remember from a class that I had with, I think it was with both of y'all, might have been just with these stories, where we were talking about like a dope one is a table. Dope was is a what?
A small table.
Is a small
Oh,
table.
right.
And then I said like, begedgen is a hammer. Begedge goss is a little hammer. So this thing here, really means like a little object. So it's a little something that's written.
Like a quote?
That's where it gets complicated. A label. That's what I came up with.
Yeah,
for
that can
label.
work, yeah. I
It-
mean, because
But
contextual.
it's that's just it. And so it's man, I was just like, man,
Mm.
that's what I came up with.
Yeah, no,
I'm not
that's-
against changing it, but I'm just like, okay, that's what I came up with so far for it. So I thought but that was a challenging one because, oh, then this was a good one too. They had trademark and then they had logo. Now, this made my mind really start spinning around because I thought about it. I thought, well, you know what I'm going to use? I'm going to say this. Colwawin. Anybody know what Colwawin is? Zagui, Mina, Zagui. In that one song, Colwawin. Flag. It's the word that we use for flag, but it does, when you look at the actual word for flag, it doesn't really mean flag. Kowe means a footprint or a track. And what's your footprint or your track? It's your mark. It's how you're distinguished. So when somebody sees you like walking through the, they see like, oh, that's a deer sign. It's a deer sign. Like the deer's going on. That's their track. That's their trademark, their logo. That's how they're represented. It was a thought. But those were really complicated type ones. Another one that was kind of fun was, and I had to think this one out a couple ways because I don't wear these, so I had to think about it. Could somebody say this? And it was Jeeb Gabadi. Jeeb Gabadi. Well, we know what Gabadi is, right? Pants. Does anybody know what Jeeb is? Stretch. Stretched pants, or pants that stretch.
So leggings,
Leggings or, this is what I was working on. Spandex. At first I thought tight fitting, because their pants always seem like this. Tight, but they actually do, they stretch. I started thinking about it. They're really kind of stretchy because you can like, but leggings would be the same thing too. So stretchy type pants. I mean, I was like, yeah, spandex
Sounds
maybe.
terrible, but I have a pair of spandex pants.
That's okay. That's
From my
okay.
regalia. It just-
Hey, this isn't church. You don't have to confess, sir. It's not necessary. You just, if you feel desire, you go ahead. Okay, well, that's, well, that just ruins it now. Everybody was thinking that you had pictures. I thought this was a, I thought this was a, share- I thought it was a share and care event. So
That's a spandex free zone.
I thought you guys would enjoy this though, because it's kind of like, it kind of lets you into the mind of kind of like when you're looking at words and if we don't have a concept for something, you know, how we go about describing that concept or how we go about coming up with a new word for something, or how, even how a new word develops. I was looking at the word for facts, and I was thinking to myself, facts. Okay. Well, and what I thought about was well, how did they say telegraph back in the day? I was thinking. I pulled up my old Guyon dictionary from 1868, and I was looking at that. And honestly, he had some of the word concepts that I hadn't really thought about. But what he had two different things for a fax, or not for a fax. Wow, he knew about faxes, they were coming. But he had two things for a telegraph that I thought were interesting. One of them started with this Benoch, Pinoch, we sometimes see it as Benoch. And it's like Benoch, I'm not gonna misquote him here, it was like, yeah, something. Benoch means far off. So it's this thing that like push stuff far off or something like that. But the other word he had there was let's see.
Car tag ones.
That is my card. That was my card tag once, you're right. It means that as well. Hold on here. Keekdo. What's keekdo? Talk. So the one just makes it into like a thing. It's like a thing that talks. Wasmo is also used like for like electric, or like it's almost like it sends it across something, you know. So it's like, and he used this for when he was talking about a telegraph. And I thought about that. I thought, well, you know, a fax machine actually is a lot like that. But it sends like writing. Usually, I mean, I guess, can you fax a picture? I guess you could. Yeah.
Fax anything you want.
And usually it ends up being wording though. And I was thinking to myself about that. I was thinking, well, I could maybe say something like a wasmo, ne, something like that, like an electronic, like wording, or it's like it pushes it through the electric, it shoots it out through there. And I was like, hmm. I haven't decided on that one yet, but that was one I was looking at. They had the word on here for, I'm telling you, there's some strange stuff people say. People Google apparently on a regular basis.
Is there a word for printer?
Yeah, there's a word for to print something, like to print a book, like it'd be like Mazinigan K, like to print a book, to make a book, or Mazinigan K again. Yeah. So yeah, there's a word for printer. See, I mean, that might be another way to look at, think about the word for printer and maybe go in that direction. But like I said, it was there's still a few I haven't even got to. Joystick, headset. What I got here? But yeah, there's quite a few here I still have to go through and kind of come up with some concepts for. But there were a few, like I said, they were just interesting, made me really think a little bit.
Do you remember the word I made for hiding the seat? That you would do?
Gekazo, was it?
Pequeno.
Play like play like you're hiding, yeah. Play hiding, yeah. And that actually came into play. Oh, that reminds me of one that I was looking at too. It was for this is a good one. Yeah, this is one I thought about. It's funny you brought that word up. It reminded me of one that I saw on here. So this became Wie Kazo. Now this one, if you get this one, just throw your book down, walk out. You're done. You're there. You're ready. Just bam, I'm done. I graduate. Wie Kazo Win.
Well, when means it's a thing.
Okay, win means it's a thing. Kazo is what? That's Kajo. That's close. Kajo though is like in Chikazo. She was just saying, like, if you put that Kazo in, it means to play or act in a certain way.
A play thing? Something that
Now,
you.
what's Wie though?
Someone. I was saying something, my bad.
Someone. So to play or act like someone.
Skip.
Cosplay. I almost said that.
So you could just throw your stuff down and be like, I'm done for the day.
Never get that.
You wouldn't? Okay.
I
But
barely understand.
well, that's just it. I have to look it up and think. I had to look it up and think about me. I kind of get it a little bit. I see people go to like Comic-Con and they'll dress up like their favorite superhero, but basically you're pretending to be someone. You know, you pretend to be someone.
Personally, I would never get there as long as
I got you. You wouldn't actually do cosplay.
I'm.
No, maybe. You wouldn't get from that word yet. So I need to maybe think about that a little bit. It's just, there was a first thought on it. I was like, But that's the kind of words they're asking me. Like, he's like cosplay. I'm like, what? Another one they had was spritzer. Yeah. And then I had to think about that one. This is what I came up with. That is, most spritzers are like, Wishkabobble. What does wishkabobble mean now?
They're sweet liquid.
Okay.
What's the other word for that?
Coke means the same thing in Oklahoma.
Yeah, soda water. That's one of the things people use as a mix for like drinks.
Sweet liquid water.
I mean, that's literally what it means.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, maybe like a soda water, because I was looking up spritzer. This was for spritzer. I was like, what the heck is a spritzer? Like, I've heard that terminology. And I was like, hey, I had to look it up to come up with it. Then I had to look it up, and then what I usually end up doing, this is to show you kind of the process. I'll look a word up, even if I know it in English. Sometimes I'll look it up. What I'll look for is the word's origin, because sometimes from the origin you can actually get to a better understanding of what the word really came from. You can look at the Latin and stuff. Like, it actually, like, what was that word they were talking about? I'd look up like catamaran and some other crazy ones, like, but it's like you get down to the word origin of that word, and you're like, oh, okay, that's what that literally is talking about. And there was one word that had something to do with horses or something, but it was used now for like, I can't remember the word. It was an English word.
I really want to see this list just to know like what they have.
It's wild. And
Is
then
it- are you Are you going to put this list once you get it done on the Facebook page or something?
Maybe. I might do that, or I might just wait and get to be more of a way to encourage people to try out this Woolaroo thing. Because basically I'm gonna have to record all the audio for it, and then they're gonna go live in the next like month or two. And like it's coming quick. Like they were like, hey, when can you get this done? I was like, next week. And they're like, oh, okay. I was like, sure, I'll get it done next week. It's only 1,200 some words. And then audio record them all. Why not?
Got nothing else to do.
Sure, just whatever. Time memorial. Just trying to save our language, nothing else to do. That's nothing else to be. Yeah. No, I just looked at that and I said, hey, this is a unique opportunity that's not going to come around again. And so sometimes you got to jump at those. You got to be like, it's like with the middle school. Shawnee Middle School called me up like, I want to say like 2 weeks or 3 weeks before school started. And they were like, hey, we know you offer a Potawatomi course at the high school. You think you could do a middle school course? We don't have a Spanish teacher. We lost him. Sure. 2 weeks from now, you want me to create a 9-week course? Why not? So now we have a 9-week course at the middle school in Shawnee. So, but like I said, those are those opportunities. It happens because something else happens. And then you just got to be like, yeah, we can do it. And then just go for it. If you don't make it, you don't make it. The one good thing though, they said is there are some words they said, hey, we understand if you cannot come up with, or you don't have words for certain things in your language. That was okay with them. I was like, all right. Because I'm not going to sit around and make all these words for these dogs. They had like sensor pritzel and podals and you know what I mean? They have like all kinds. I'm not sitting around and spending like hours coming up with all these random, like we have some dog terms in our language. Like there's a word for a beagle. And there's a word for like
Bloodhound.
bloodhound, but those were animals that our people would like use, like take them out hunting with them, like later on. I'm not gonna like come up with like compounds for like Pomeranian Rottweilers and like not doing all that. Maybe one day when I have bazillions time, but that's not one of them. But that was actually one thing they pointed out when they first gave me the list. Okay, I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, but so that's how basically when you and I have to do this a lot of times with people in English when they call me up, they're like, hey, how do you say whatever the word is? I have to then ask them, well, what do you mean? Because a lot of words in English are real vague and ours are very direct. So then they give me a more direct meaning. Then I'll go back and I'll look at the actual origin of that word in English and be like, okay, this is what that word really means. So we can construct that similar type of word in this way. But even though over years, sometimes some of those words have changed a lot. See if y'all recognize a few of these. I'll put a few of the easier ones up here that weren't too mind-boggling. Just to prove to you that there is some logical stuff in there that people actually Google, other than this randomness. Let's see.
I suspect all of them are Googled quite a bit, and maybe not something you do.
Let's see. That's what I'm gonna do. There's a fun one here. Some of these that were so easy, I thought to myself, why did I ever think of making a word for that? I don't know, I didn't. Just never occurred to me to make that. But this list has actually made me think of some stuff that I just hadn't really ever thought of. There's a lot. There's a lot that I was like, oh, wow. There were plenty of interesting ones to draw. Almost there. And we'll stop here. We'll start here. We'll start with this group. Okay, so we got Kichigami medium. We'll start at the bottom one here. Kichigami medium. What do you think that is?
Seafood?
Seafood.
Oh.
Yeah, seafood. Kichigami is the sea. Medium's food, seafood. That's one I was like, man, I love seafood. I can't believe I never thought to kind of coin a word for seafood and put in the dictionary. Kichigami medium. Seafood. Kichimiao. Highway. Big road. Meow is a road. Kitcha is like great road or big road. Genogan. This one starts with this is a verb right here. And then that's the gun.
I don't know this.
Genogan. We always say, Bodewad Mikanake Nishnabek Bamajuk is you know what donuts. Pointer. Yeah, we always say Indian people are probably who we point with our lips. It's a pointer.
Oh, because it's the thing that.
The thing that you point with. I guess I could have said donuts. That would have been kind of funny. But then it probably would just confuse people. It's a bunch of lips. The goat skin. Now, this one could be a few different things, but the way that they were wanting to use it, was they were talking about seasoning. The goat is something that you add in, Could be spices, could be seasoning. I mean, you could even be talking about like putting even more salt, but it's a seasoning or something you add in. The goat skin. Sounds like seasoning. Zao
Goldfish.
goldfish.
Ah,
Hey, goldfish, good, wasn't it? What about Medway Jaget? Anybody know that one? Medway Jaget.
I've heard of it.
You've heard Medway actually kind of recently, actually.
Yeah, I have. I just don't
It's
remember.
okay. It's okay. That's just because you heard it recently doesn't mean you remember it recently. It's not. We were talking about like Medway again. Or no, Juwan, Medway Juwan. So the sound of water moving. This is a musician, someone that makes sounds, a musician. So more of an acoustic of this. No, it's not this time musician. Mishwesi. Now this was one that I just kind of laughed about.
It's hairy animal, isn't it? Like Bigfoot?
Yeah. So what do you think I'm talking about?
Bigfoot or Sasquatch? Maybe, no. Hairy, it's a hairy animal though, right?
Mammal. I can't spell it.
Mammal, yeah.
Mammals are hairy. Hairy animal, mammal. I was like a mammal. They have amphibian on there too. I haven't quite figured out about that one. I guess it lives in the water. They're liquidy. They're like wet skin, maybe. I don't know. Amphibians.
Yeah, it's
Like-
really hard.
Like mammals, I mean, they're almost all hairy and warm-blooded and something, I don't know.
Produced milk is the other criteria on it.
Yes, milk, that's the one, yeah. And live birth, I think, too. But I can't encompass all that in there. I was thinking, I can't be like live birth, warm-blooded, hairy, you're like,
Yeah.
it'd be like that long. There you go, there's mammal. But I just don't, that one kind of bewilders me because I wonder how the heck somebody's gonna do that. I mean, so if you like put it up and it like shows like, oh, that's a nectosha, it's gonna give you like nectosha and then like mammal, also, I don't know. So that'll be interesting to see how that works. But those were a few of the fun ones there. Seafood though was one that I was like, man, I love seafood. I love me some seafood. Shoggy. Crab. What's funny is like, I looked down my list at the bottom, I'm like, oh yeah, these look real logical. Then I go to the other side, I'm like, man, that's wild words. Cause I like the bottom, it looks perfectly normal to me. And I look over, I'm like, they had a word I can't pronounce that word. I don't know. Impiance, and they got snips, and they got types of cars on here, Honda. Lebanon. Oh, the other thing I had to think about too is when they had the verbs, because our verbs are all somebody, right? So I was like, well, who do I put the verb in? Do I say like, I'm laughing, you're laughing, who's laughing? I decided to just go with the he or she, or just the base, because that's what we conjugate out of anyway. So I was like, that makes sense, because then they can manipulate it as needed. Couple more. This is fun. This was interesting. The board here. Anybody know what calabaza is? This is the word that people Google. That's one that I was like, what?
The place?
No. I don't know if that comes from the language or what that is. I was just like, I had to Google it.
It sounds like some sort of sausage.
It does sound like a sausage, doesn't it? But it actually was something different. I was just like, huh.
Calabaza.
Yeah, then there was words like, yeah. Okay. There's a few more. Copy cow the muck. What do you think?
Coffee.
Coffee shop.
Yeah.
Coffee shop, place they make coffee. Coffee shop. We all know that is a required word in English. I'm sure that people are always looking for that. Where's the closest coffee shop, man? So copy K makes coffee, the place that makes coffee. Bagoch was going to know.
Wildflower.
You were thinking the right thing. You were thinking of Bigfoot, Bagoch, didn't it? Bagoch was going to know is wildflower. But that's where the word for Bigfoot comes from. It's from that Bagoch.
I was thinking wild.
Wild what?
Yeah.
Light?
Was.
I can see that. I can see it. It's kind of inside that word. You know what I heard about this word? In fact, that makes me start that conversation. I always wondered about that because it does have that wascone, like light inside that word for flower, wascone. What I understood is it's because the flower turns to the light.
Towards the light.
It either grows to light or it goes toward the light. Like even when like the light, when it opens up, ones that open up and stuff.
That's it.
And I was like, "Ooh, that's deep." You know, like looks heads and like, that's so much deeper than just flower. I was like, whoa, what's going to know? This was a challenge because this one is a concept that's real foreign in our language. Mbapiwan.
Mba's death.
That's both.
Oh, sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep apnea.
I wish it was foreign in our language. We didn't have sleep apnea before. Smokmana, heavy watch shoulder. P-win.
Is this talking about sleep paralysis?
This P is kind of, this is the word that's kind of complicated, P. Okay, P indicates, it's in that word like need you pee.
I don't know this.
Okay. It's the closest you can get to say time. That P is an indicator of time. So P when you've kind of changed into it like a noun. So sleep time. Slangy, but it's as close as you can get to time. P when.
So what's the word?
The
Sleep time?
P is, yeah, sleep time. So like bedtime, sleep time.
Bedtime.
Bedtime,
Okay,
I
that's
guess.
what they're asking.
I guess it's better bedtime and not sleep time. Wessi Ogamak. Yeah, what do you think that is? Zoo. Yeah, zoo. What about our Skode Dabian meow, which is a what?
What is it? Fire what?
You're
Fire-
exactly right. Fire car road. What's a fire car? That's a thought.
A train.
Train.
Train track.
You're not, it's not bad, but train track. Yeah, train track. Yeah, train track. So this is the word for train. Skode Dabian. Yeah, so train track. Train tracks. Calabaza, this is like, I was looking at this and I was like, is this an English word? Like people Google this? And then when I looked it up and found out what it was, I was like, okay, I can say that. Why not? Babon question.
Year.
No, hold on here. Let's see. Question man. I was like, there's something wrong with that. Question. Ugh. Well, I struggle there. I was like, there's something wrong with that. Westman. Okay.
Long can be winter or year.
Yep, winter or year. In this sense, it's winter.
Westman is like a, I thought I heard that as.
You've heard it.
Berry or something.
I mean, it's got mint on it,
Uh-huh.
which is mint is usually a
West-
seed
like
or a
cranberry?
berry. Well, no, seed or a berry, but it's not always the berry.
It's talking about the heart, right?
Squash.
Oh,
Westman.
I have seen that word.
Yeah.
Dang it.
But it has seeds, and that's where that word comes from. Just has it. But a lot of times they're like Meanan's a berry. Skolman is like a cranberry.
I can't remember what I did.
Ah, don't be too hard to
Spanish
tell.
word,
I love that.
right? I Googled it.
Is it a Spanish word? I don't know, but what it came up with was winter squash.
Yeah,
And I was like, well, I can say winter squash. Boom, there it is.
yeah.
Calabaza. Take that. I was like,
It's a generic name in the Spanish language for any type of pumpkin.
Oh.
winter squash, and then
And it does
everything.
say winter squash.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So Geskapkagen.
Can I estimate yen is a thing, right?
Padlock. It's a lock. Just a lock.
Oh, I could never guess.
Sorry.
Did you know that one?
No, I was
Oh, hey,
yeah.
what's up,
talking
what's
to people in
up?
the hallway.
Hey, Nietzsche and I, how y'all
I'll
doing?
go to the principal's office later.
Yeah, we're almost done. We won't be in here too long. What time is it?
I'm hungry.
I would be here a little bit. So this was a rail track, but yeah, locked, but the word there they had was padlock. And, oh, this is the one that I thought was really kind of fun. Now this one's interesting. Bawajigan. Okay. This is something you use if you have like you'd use a baway if you had a Gmon. It's a paddle. Now, jigay is like something like in motion, like it's something that just does something. Well, that's thought. And this might mess my whole word up now. So it's something like kind of that does something. So it's a thing that kind of acts like a paddle. What's a paddle do? Well, I mean,
Or spank kids.
that's a different type. That's a thought. I don't know if that's the paddle that we're talking about, but all this catamaran made me think that's what that paddle that we're talking about. But you're right. What's a paddle do? Like in a canoe? Well, what's it? How's it? Basically, it's your way of.
I think we're struggling to get.
Propeller. Propeller.
To the paddle that moves.
The paddle, it's like something that like it does the actions of a paddle, but it's like moving. Maybe I'll rethink that one. I actually stole that one from somebody else from their jib list. I should have known better. I should have known better. I should have been like, man, this ain't working. But I looked at it, I was like, oh, paddle, I get it, okay. And then I was like, what's this? And I was like, we'll come up with something better. We're bored of what. But yeah, so some of the words, like I said, some of them were pretty common words or basic general type things that we would say. And then occasionally you had ones that were just like, what? do a couple more here. 'Cause I think this is interesting. Hopefully you guys find it interesting. I think it's interesting, but then we can do some more. We can do some.
Words you don't think about when they're helping.
No, but apparently people are. You don't think about it, or I don't think about it. Apparently people are thinking about them. You know, people are thinking about Cata, whatever that guy was. Right on.
Well, of course they're thinking about calabaza right now. It's time to start planting.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's probably what it is.
We should extend those plans
You like this?
at the Broadway place.
I wish you could get it. We'll put some on there. This one here, I had to really think about how, and I'm still not 100% sure I like what I came up with that one. I was just like, man, that's an interesting concept in English, like what that thing actually is. Once in a while, you get something that's in English that's a little bit interesting. In the sense of it's a little more complicated. Oh, this one's funny. Okay, we'll start with these ones. Okay, so we got, we'll start here, something easy here, shishu, man.
Quack.
Yeah. Duck. People are Googling ducks. Ducks. They're out there. I get that. People are always, the reason I put this one up, Kevin, is because you're always doing
Yeah,
birds and stuff. I'm like, man, people
They're
are
prob-
definitely Googling this stuff. They're
But I
seeing
think-
it.
I catch myself doing that sometimes. I mean, I know she should be duck, but then you try to look at the specific,
Type of duck.
species, yeah, like a wood duck or a shoveler or something. And some of them are named, some of them aren't.
Yeah, and animals, I mean, the bird names is interesting. There's a lot of types of birds and things out there. It's like, yeah. Debugging and bulls. Now this one will be interesting if anybody gets this one. Debugging and bulls.
The bucket is fun.
No, you mean it's kinda, it is kinda, but what does that really literally mean? How
It's a
much-
measure of something.
Measure.
Measure.
How much does it measure to? So it's a measurement of something. We even use that for a ruler sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not what it means. So it's a measuring device,
Okay.
something that measures and bulls it. What's the verb? What's the word bulls at? That's close. That's bull stone. That bull drive. So measure what he, so what, something that measures what he or she drives. Odometer. If that's spelled right, I don't know. Odometer, though, I was like, oh, okay. This next one here, this is the one that gave me a little bit of an issue. I was just like, man, I'm gonna give you what it was in English, because I was just like, I just don't know how to describe it exactly. Lobby.
Oh, where
I
the
was like,
people-
man.
The place where the people join
People gather.
or gather, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best, because I mean, the lobby can be so many different things that like, some hotels have like a general, there's usually a general seating type area. People usually gather together like their luggage, or when they're checking in, they're all kind of gathered there. Is what I was thinking. Or sometimes they'll have like a bar down there in like hotels, but it's just like, it's just such a vague type thing in English. Like, what does the lobby mean to you? You know, and I was just like, man. So I said, the place where people gather. And now just know. This is a good one. Gimoch Mazinagas. Hmm?
It's a little book.
It's a little book. Emoch.
I don't know, I've seen it so many times, but I don't know.
You've also seen the mochke. So that's a little different.
No, I've seen, I don't remember.
That's okay. You can't remember it all.
Yeah.
Only 95% of it, Reagan, only 95%. The moch, anybody?
Yeah, I've heard it so many
That
times.
sounds familiar.
Last chance, here we go. Secret. Diary.
I like that.
Your secret little book.
But
Yeah, 'cause, you know, when people usually have diaries, they're usually not something that they're sharing with the world. It's usually their own little personal thoughts, and they have locks on them a lot of times. Exactly. People sometimes put them up somewhere so somebody didn't. So your little secret little book, your diary. Emoch Mazinagas. This one I went literal, but I thought it made sense that way. Bisaga.
snow on the ground.
It is something about snow. Going in snow on the ground, you're right, but so just think of it as snow. It's snow because it's already fallen, but snow.
Bisaga. I've heard that as well.
Anybody know what Bisaga is?
So,
Right? I should just give you one letter. What is it? Where's one letter? B-A-O.
Is it a snowboard or ski?
Snowboard.
Well,
Snowboard. Literally snowboard.
Yeah.
Snowboard. And I was like, man, that's a great word. I put that in the dictionary. I was like, no, we need a word for snowboard in the dictionary. I didn't think of it. I mean, I like watching the Olympics and snowboard. Not that I'm gonna go do it, but I think it's cool. Snowboard. Ah. I feel like I might try snowboarding sometime. It wasn't real popular last time I went skiing. It's been, God, 15, 20 years. I got hurt doing that time, but can you break a hip snowboard? Probably, but sometimes it's worth it, Paul. Sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's not. Okay, Weed to Gaywin and Shongen's what I got left. Weed to Gaywin. Anybody know what that is? So we know it's a
Is it married?
Harry.
Married? Yeah.
wow.
Bam, look at you. Marriage. Can't spell today, but marriage. We to gay is the verb to be married. We to gay when marriage.
Marriage, yeah.
Yeah. Good. Wasn't that? How about Shongen?
I've seen
Sure.
It does remind you of Shonyu, but it's not related at all. I'm just gonna throw it out there. It does look like it. Shongen. This is something people like to use sometimes. Some people use them daily.
It's not a scarf. No, that's more squirrel.
Is it a lotion? Lotion?
Lotion.
You imagine that,
Shongen. Shon has to do with like
Yeah,
rubbing something on, so something you rub on. Shongen.
yeah.
But lotion. Very good. So that one's actually been in the dictionary, but it's just, I just thought it was worth putting up there. Every word's worth putting up there to some degree. You know, just looking for some fun ones here. Oh, this one made me think. I was like, man. This time I'm going to show you what they gave me.
you put all these in the dictionary, are you going to?
Oh, I put, yeah, all the ones that I thought were interesting, I definitely put in there. Yeah.
But I didn't write any of them down.
No, I put them in the dictionary. So our
Is there,
dictionary has grown exponentially in the last week because I'm like, oh, we don't have that word, no, that word, no, that word. That's a good word. So
is there a word for like a place where someone enters? Like beyond just door?
edge of Beatgek. That's the location somebody enters, the place where someone enters, the entryway. That makes sense?
Migo.
Yeah, so that would be the place where place where they enter at, the entryway. So, because Beatgay literally means to come inside or to enter. The K on there means they enter. When you put this edge, it's like the place where they enter. Edge of Beatgay, so it'd be like the entryway kind of area, or could be like probably like that first room you come into, maybe into a house, you know, you're entering in. Deschigatic, that's one you don't hear too much either. Deschigatic. Edge of Deschigatic. That's a porch. Edge of Deschigatic. Des has to do with flat. Let's put flat. Oh, It's like this flat little area. Edge of desk you got it, the deck. Or the porch. Almost done, almost there. Y'all can come on in, it's fine, come on in. You're not gonna bother us, you can go ahead, you can
I won't
cut.
say anything.
Whatever you gotta do, you're fun to do.
Okay, oh, okay.
Yeah, whatever you want. Go around. Yeah, go cow, turn the on. We just got a couple more and then we'll be done here.
It's been kind I'm all about the getting in the house.
Yeah, that's pretty good, I think, for a day. I think we'll probably wrap it up on that. You guys enjoy going over some of these odd words with me?
Hey,
Yeah. But it's like I said, it's fun to see kind of what goes into the process of creating a new word and how you have to kind of spin it around your mind and think about it, and like, how does that fit to what we're talking about in English or whatnot? So, how?
Miigwech, Justin, Miigwech.
Okay, wait again?
What's on the weaker night, you need early, you want to just.
Yeah, we can wait. I might pull it up 3:30. I think Max is gonna show. But I'll wait to put that in. It'd be fun. I figure, oh, yeah. But I figure, as long as I just constantly.
I'm so
You
cute.
guys are more consistent than else.
Family stuff just kind
I get it.
of.
No worries, no worries. I had a question, apparently, if a person's still here, we'll see if the question's there. You had this list, oh, let me get done. I think that was the question I answered already. Mama, I mean 'em.